my colleagues in government, both at the center and state, Mr. Sudhanshu Pandey, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Mr. Darpan Jain, other colleagues who are assembled here. My very good friend, Chandrajit Banerjee, who is an institution by himself in terms of promoting business, promoting industry, trade in the country, and taking care of India's interests. Honorable Excellencies from different embassies and high commissions, and I see a long list of very eminent countries being represented here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a privilege to be participating in this curtain raiser for the Global Exhibition on Services 2019. Services is one sector, as several speakers before me have spoken, which all of us recognize has huge potential. All of us know the impact it can have on the economy, on job creation, on the quality of life, both of our people, and the contribution that it can give to Indians and the Indian economy. Yet, I don't think we've even reached the tip of the iceberg when it comes to getting the true benefits of this sector. If in a very organized way, all of us were to look at this sector, and that is the attempt of this Global Exhibition of Services started 4 years ago. This will be the 5th edition. If we can collectively apply our mind and prepare the roadmap how we want to take this sector forward, I think there's tremendous potential which will be good for the country, good for the states which engage with this subject, and which can actually become one of those game-changer sectors, truly impacting the destiny of India and all of our people. I'm delighted that Bengaluru has been chosen for this exhibition. It's most appropriate destination if one was to see its own contribution to the services sector and how it has evolved over the years, as Jagdish ji just shared with us. It's a beautiful city with a lot of tradition and a lot of modernity. It's a great confluence of history and contemporary and modern thinking, research, technology. In every respect, a city and a state all of us Indians are proud of. And I think it will be an ideal backdrop at the Mysore Palace grounds where we are going to have this exhibition. And I must thank Honorable Minister Jagdish Shettar ji for his unstinted support to make this a success, and Honorable Chief Minister Shri Yediyurappa ji for giving us tremendous support all through the planning and currently the implementation of this program. Thank you very much, Jagdish ji. Uttar Pradesh has also joined us as a partner state, and I'm looking forward to their active engagement in this program. But I'd just like to share a few roving thoughts with you, some of which I've been developing as I engage with the colleagues on the dais. We all know about the champion sectors. I was just shown the impact certain programs of the government have had on different sectors, good, some very good, some inadequate, what we can do, what we cannot do. And I'm really delighted that for the first time the country is engaging with services in a very organized manner, having identified what role tourism can have in it, what role health services can have in it, what role education will play, how logistics can have a significant impact. And each of these 12 champion sectors by itself has enough potential to change the destiny, change the course of India's development. And when we talk of Make in India, when we talk of manufacturing, I think services and manufacturing go hand in hand. It's pretty much a chicken and egg story. It's very difficult to determine what comes first and what is the enabler for the other. We obviously can't have, let's say, a logistics sector with no goods to move. So we need manufacturing there. But obviously we can't do manufacturing of a product without innovation, without research and development, without science, without quality education. And therefore both these sectors, not only they have to coexist, but they have to grow simultaneously. They have to grow parallelly. In the changing dynamics of the world economy, services today almost has a 2:1, in some places 3:1 ratio when it comes to the contribution to the GDP between manufacturing and services. So obviously it gives you a reflection on the huge impact services have also on the manufacturing sector. And if one was to reflect into greater detail, you'll realize how logically the services sector is kind of encompassing the manufacturing sector in different ways. And to my mind, the kind of focused effort that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given to this sector in the last 4-5 years, carefully articulating the impact that tourism can have on the country's economy, the impact that the IT sector and how the IT sector has to move beyond what we've done for the last 10 or 15, 20 years into artificial intelligence, into modern manufacturing practices, into fourth generation technologies, and now as we go into 5G in telecom, we are probably going to see a wave of new technologies coming across different sectors also. And India has the unique advantage of leapfrogging into the best what is available in the world. We need not go through the typical cycle through which many nations will now have to go through when they evolve or when they want to engage with more modern technology. We can actually straight away leapfrog into what's the biggest and the best in the world. Of course, that will mean a lot of brand building, something which I've asked my colleagues to focus on in the next few months to see how the India brand can become a well-recognized, respectable brand across the world. What we can do in terms of government support to different sectors in the services field. I have made a suggestion that in the next 15-20 days, if we can work out along with the states, in partnership with the states, some kind of policies, some kind of enablers which can help these various champion sectors grow much faster, expand much faster, contribute in a much larger way to all the effort that we are doing. And I am told that they will sit down along with CII and the states and see what we can do to really have an impact of this opportunity that we have in Bangalore later this month, 26th to 28th of November. Can we really, during the course of this global engagement and exhibition, reach out to different sectors? I was very delighted to hear the report that Gaurav just gave in terms of their effort to bring animation into the country, esports into the country. This is the new age world that India needs to engage with, while we in the center can play some role. A large part of this is housed in the states, and I think it will have to be a combined effort of the center and states working together. And if I was to take a small example, currently they are redeveloping the Kashi Vishwanath temple at Banaras and the precincts of that temple. Now, if any of you has been to Banaras, Varanasi, you may recall that it's a very holy place. It has a great deal of religious significance, but it was surrounded on all four sides by homes and shops and whatnot have you. And really it did not really inspire a lot of enthusiasm for people from all over the country or the world, beyond the religious part of it, to come to that area. But I recently had the opportunity to see the way it is being developed, and it's truly remarkable. That place itself will become a huge attraction, not only for those of us who believe a lot in religion or who believe in wanting to pay our visit and our respects and obeisance at the temple, but it will actually become a tourist destination point going forward. Similarly, the Statue of Unity that has been set up at Kevadia in Gujarat. I remember a lot of editorials and a lot of criticism when the project was first conceptualized and the investment started on that project. While of course it is India's tribute to one of the greatest Indians ever, to a person who gave his life for the country, to the true architect of one India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It is also, as we go forward, going to become a matter of pride for all Indians to be visiting that place. It will also, as we go forward, become a great destination for people from across the world to come and see and experience that the ecosystem that is being developed over there around the Statue of Unity. And I remember as long back as probably 2.5 decades ago, when I first went to the US, it was a must-visit destination to go to the Statue of Liberty. We took that ferry, we went there. Well, we were able to spend half a day because waiting in the lines for the ferry, a short journey, a very quick tour, but then waiting for the lines to come back, so you necessarily have to have lunch. The whole ecosystem takes away a pretty large part of your day. And I would think that what that Statue of Liberty has done to New York at that point of time is give it an identity which helped shape the New York of today. Of course, it's another matter that the second time I was forced to go, because next time I was gone with my children. So you have to once again go to show the children, because you go to the US and you don't see the Statue of Liberty, your visit is incomplete. It's like you go to Niagara, and I had a Punjabi taxi driver when I was going to the falls, or when I landed at the airport and when I was going to the hotel. And in the Punjabi accent, and I can say this because I am a Punjabi, I can take a punt on myself. Pardon me, Excellencies, I'll translate it for you. He said, "Jisne Maid of the Mist nahi dekha, usne Niagara kya dekha?" In Punjabi, he said it to me. A person who hasn't seen Maid of the Mist has not seen Niagara Falls at all. So you necessarily have it on your itinerary that next morning you're going to wear the blue raincoat made of single-use plastic, probably, at that point of time. Visit the Maid of the Mist. And I still remember my first visit there. I got a call from India. Mobiles had just come into the country, late 90s or early 2000. I got a call from India, and I had to necessarily just be on the call throughout the trip. So I went a second time to see what is the Maid of the Mist. But all of these are small things, but beautifully marketed, beautifully exploited, and beautifully creating an ecosystem which is a job creator, a wealth generator, a generator of economic activity, not only around the destination, but all the associated costs that one incurs, be it on food, be it on recreation, be it on travel, that one incurs to go to such a destination. And if I can make a prediction, which I say with full responsibility, the Statue of Unity alone at Kevadia will create an ecosystem which can generate 1 lakh crores, that's about $15 billion, only in and around the Statue of Unity and all the engagements associated with that over the next 4 or 5 years. It can create an annual $15 billion ecosystem only around the Statue of Unity. And I remember the Honorable Prime Minister sharing with me once in an informal chat that it is so sad that the people are only engaged in trying to figure out that why the government should have spent some $300 odd million to create a Statue of Unity. Of course, we would spend any amount of money to give a tribute to Sardar Patel, the Iron Man of India. But that $300 million will help India in such a large economic activity coming to the country, both from within, through domestic travelers over there and international travelers, that it can itself show the way, pave the way of how tourism should develop in the country, what more we can do. I was telling Honorable Minister about the Hampi sites in Karnataka. I went to Hampi about a year and a half ago, more because my daughter forced me to go, who's a student of history. And after visiting that, one feels so much excited about our own tradition, about our own history, about what we have to offer to the rest of the world. And I think it is these treasures that we have in India that we need to exploit, that we need to take to the rest of the world. Religious tourism is another area, the Buddh circuit, for example. I remember somebody telling me the other day when we were planning the Buddhist circuit train, that even if every Buddhist comes once in his lifetime to visit the Buddh circuit, and there are probably 300, 400 million Buddhists, 500 million Buddhists in the world, that itself will keep that circuit going for centuries and centuries. And a very good idea was given, I don't know, by one of you, I failed to remember who gave that idea. We should encourage people to visit or come for the Buddhist circuit on each one's birthday. You said that? Okay. I remembered that this conversation had happened. I thought that was a brilliant way to space out the tourists throughout the 365 days. Otherwise, everybody may like to come only during their vacation time and overload the infrastructure, for which either you have large investments which then don't give you returns in the rest of the year. So I thought it was a brilliant idea. But that's what we need all of you to engage with us. That's what we need you all to give us the ideas, what we need to do, how we can make these things happen. What are the enablers? I was just suggesting to my colleagues that anybody who wants to set up a hotel or a hospital or an educational institution in Mumbai is given an extra floor space index or FAR, so that the costs of land can be ameliorated to some extent and larger structures can come up at a lower investment. Now, such a thing could be promoted across the country. When you go to Dubai, you see a floor space index as high as probably 20 and 30 in some of the hotels in the small Burj district or small area. All of Manhattan must be on a floor space index, I think, which is beyond my calculation over here. But of course, we also have to tackle a lot of our NGOs who will then come, and I'll be on the Twitter the whole day being attacked for not respecting the environment. But I think this is a delicate balance that we need to create in the country, the balance between what is good for the people of India in terms of its economic activity, jobs, employment, working opportunities, entrepreneurship, earnings, foreign exchange earnings, and balance that with a better environment, with a better focus on environment. Both these things don't go against each other. I think both these things can work in partnership. This kind of partnerships is what is being sought to be forged through these global level engagements and exhibitions. I'm sure this exhibition will continue the rich tradition set 4 years ago. It'll help attract investment in a big way. It'll help the world to see the opportunities in India. It'll show the scale that India has to offer with 1.3 billion people. It'll show the strategic location that India enjoys in the global map, almost at the center of the East and the West. It'll show the skills that India has. It'll showcase our high-quality medical professionals, educationists, and what we can provide to the rest of the world. Our space technology, I hope ISRO has an engagement there. We must have ISRO over there. It's something which all of us Indians are extremely proud of, the achievements of our scientists at the ISRO Center. We must also showcase these wonderful policies that Karnataka and other governments have made for promoting the services sector. I hope tourism will have a focus, particular focus during the conference. Of course, we also have other services like the legal services, financial, accounting. All of these put together can provide a beautiful bouquet of services that can change India for the better, that can provide a great leg up to the Indian economy, and the target that the services sector has set up to contribute $3 trillion out of the $5 trillion Indian economy can become a reality, can become truly something which will power India's growth in the years to come. I wish the Global Exhibition on Services 2019 all success, and I hope to see each one of you participating with the same enthusiasm and helping us with your ideas in the days to come, in the months to come, so that we can all work together to continue this march that the services sector has had over the last few decades and make it truly the game changer that it can provide for India and all Indians. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, sir.
Just one thing, my best wishes to Mr. Manik Dawar as he takes over as the chairman of the Services Export Promotion Council. And Manik, with your enthusiasm and your youthful energy and your ideas, I'm sure we'll see some significant and impactful change in this sector. Good luck.
Just take a minute. I am truly humbled by the comments of the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry. We have known each other for almost 3 decades now, and I can always say that all the time that we have been acquainted, he has been a man in a hurry to do good things, in a hurry to make decisions, and in a hurry to make decisions which would ultimately benefit the country, the economy, and the ministry he looks after. It's a very difficult job because he's not only looking after an important sector like commerce and industry, but an equally important infrastructure sector like the railways. I totally agree with him that we have not even touched the tip of the iceberg, and I look forward in the next 2 years that I will serve as chairman to try and fulfill some of his ambitions, some of his plans.